The phrase "abomination of desolation" echoes through history, shrouded in mystery and foreboding. This term has been a source of fascination and dread, a phrase that conjures images of desolate landscapes and abandoned ruins. It is a term that has captivated theologians, scholars, and believers for centuries, prompting them to delve deep into ancient texts and historical records to uncover its true meaning, prompting intense debate and speculation. These discussions often become heated, as the implications of this phrase are profound and far-reaching. Its origins lie in the biblical books of Daniel and Matthew, where it is presented as a sign of profound spiritual and physical upheaval. These texts have been studied and analyzed for generations, each interpretation adding a new layer of understanding, where it is presented as a sign of profound spiritual and physical upheaval. The imagery associated with this phrase is dramatic and often apocalyptic, depicting scenes of chaos and destruction. This enigmatic phrase refers to an act of desecration so profound, so abhorrent, that it signifies a complete departure from the divine order. It is an act that defiles what is sacred, leaving a lasting scar on the spiritual landscape. That it signifies a complete departure from the divine order. This departure is not just a physical act, but a spiritual one, representing a turning away from the divine and an embrace of chaos. It is a symbol of spiritual desolation, a state where the sacred is abandoned and the divine presence is no longer felt. This desolation is both a cause and a consequence of the abomination. A turning away from God and an embrace of idolatry and wickedness. This turning away is often depicted through the worship of false idols and the pursuit of immoral acts, further deepening the spiritual desolation. The abomination of desolation represents a pivotal moment in history, marking a time of great tribulation and judgment. These moments are often seen as turning points, where the course of history is altered dramatically, marking a time of great tribulation and judgment. The imagery of judgment is stark and often terrifying, depicting a world in turmoil and a society on the brink of collapse. Understanding the abomination of desolation requires delving into its historical context and exploring the various interpretations surrounding it. Scholars and historians have spent countless hours piecing together the clues left behind in ancient texts and archaeological finds, and exploring the various interpretations surrounding it. These interpretations vary widely, reflecting the diverse perspectives and beliefs of those who study this enigmatic phrase. It is a concept that transcends time, carrying profound implications for both the past and the future. The abomination of desolation is not confined to a single moment in history, but is a recurring theme that resonates through the ages, carrying profound implications for both the past and the future. Its relevance is not limited to ancient times, but extends to the present and even the future, as its themes of desecration and desolation continue to be pertinent. The abomination of desolation is not merely an abstract theological concept. It has manifested throughout history in various forms, leaving an indelible mark on the course of human events. These manifestations are often seen in the form of significant historical events that have shaped the world we live in today. It has manifested throughout history in various forms, leaving an indelible mark on the course of human events. From ancient times to the modern era, the abomination of desolation has been a recurring theme, influencing the course of history in profound ways, leaving an indelible mark on the course of human events. By examining these historical occurrences, we can gain a deeper understanding of this enigmatic prophecy and its enduring relevance. Each event provides a piece of the puzzle, helping us to see the bigger picture. By examining these historical occurrences, we can gain a deeper understanding of this enigmatic prophecy and its enduring relevance. This understanding is not just academic, but has practical implications for how we view the world and our place in it. We can gain a deeper understanding of this enigmatic prophecy and its enduring relevance. The abomination of desolation is a reminder of the delicate balance between the sacred and the profane, and the consequences of tipping that balance. The abomination of desolation is not a singular event, but rather a recurring theme throughout history, manifesting in different forms but always signifying a profound spiritual crisis. This concept, deeply rooted in religious texts, has been interpreted in various ways by scholars and theologians. It often symbolizes a moment when sacred spaces are desecrated and divine laws are blatantly violated, leading to a period of intense turmoil and reflection. From ancient empires to modern times, echoes of this prophecy can be found in the annals of human history. The Abomination of Desolation serves as a powerful reminder of the cyclical nature of human civilization, where periods of spiritual enlightenment are often followed by times of great moral decay. This pattern is evident in the rise and fall of numerous empires, each leaving behind a legacy that speaks to the enduring struggle between good and evil. One of the earliest and most notable examples is the defilement of the Second Temple in Jerusalem by the Seleucid king Antiochus IV Epiphanes in 167 BC. This act of sacrilege, where he erected an altar to Zeus and sacrificed pigs within the sacred temple, was a direct affront to the Jewish faith and traditions. It was a moment that not only desecrated a holy site but also ignited a fierce resistance among the Jewish people. This event, which sparked the Maccabean revolt, is widely regarded as a fulfillment of the prophecy in the book of Daniel. The revolt, led by Judas Maccabeus and his followers, was a significant uprising against the oppressive rule of the Seleucid Empire. It was a fight for religious freedom and the preservation of Jewish identity, culminating in the rededication of the Second Temple, an event commemorated by the festival of Hanukkah. Another historical occurrence often associated with the Abomination of Desolation is the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans in 70 AD. This catastrophic event, which marked the end of Jewish sovereignty in Judea, was a devastating blow to the Jewish people. The Temple, a symbol of their faith and national identity, was razed to the ground and the Jewish population was dispersed, leading to a long period of exile and persecution. This catastrophic event, which marked the end of Jewish sovereignty in Judea, is seen by some as a fulfillment of Jesus' prophecy in Matthew 24. In this passage, Jesus warns of a time of great tribulation, where the holy place would be desecrated and the people would face unprecedented suffering. The destruction of the Second Temple is often viewed as a pivotal moment in this prophecy, symbolizing the profound spiritual and physical upheaval that would follow. Throughout history, the Abomination of Desolation has served as a stark reminder of the consequences of spiritual apostasy and the importance of remaining faithful to God in the face of adversity. It is a theme that resonates across different cultures and religions, highlighting the universal struggle to maintain spiritual integrity in a world often fraught with moral challenges. The stories of those who stood firm in their faith, despite facing immense persecution, continue to inspire and teach valuable lessons. Its echoes can be felt in the rise and fall of empires, the persecution of believers, and the ongoing struggle between good and evil. The Abomination of Desolation is not just a historical event, but a recurring motif that underscores the fragile nature of human morality and the constant need for vigilance and faith. As we look back at these historical occurrences, we are reminded of the enduring power of faith and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. To comprehend the gravity of the Abomination of Desolation, we must journey back to the 2nd century BC, to the reign of Antiochus IV Epiphanes. This Seleucid king, driven by a lust for power and a disdain for the Jewish faith, embarked on a systematic campaign to eradicate Judaism from his realm. Antiochus IV, whose very name, Epiphanes, meaning God manifest, hinted at his megalomania, viewed the Jewish faith as a threat to his authority. He sought to impose Hellenistic culture and pagan worship upon the Jewish people, outlawing their religious practices and desecrating their sacred spaces. In a brazen act of sacrilege that sent shockwaves through the Jewish world, Antiochus IV erected an altar to Zeus within the Holy of Holies of the Jerusalem temple. This blasphemous act, a direct affront to the God of Israel, constituted the Abomination of Desolation foretold by the prophet Daniel. It was a deliberate provocation, an attempt to extinguish the Jewish faith and replace it with pagan idolatry. Antiochus IV's actions ignited a firestorm of resistance among the Jewish people, sparking the Maccabean revolt, a heroic struggle for religious freedom that would ultimately liberate Judea from Seleucid rule. The defilement of the Jerusalem temple by Antiochus IV Epiphanes was not merely a political act, but a profound spiritual transgression. This act of sacrilege was a deliberate attempt to undermine the very foundation of Jewish faith and identity. Antiochus IV, in his quest for power and control, sought to impose Hellenistic culture and religion upon the Jewish people, disregarding their sacred traditions and beliefs. The temple, considered the holiest site in Judaism, represented the presence of God among his people. It was not just a physical structure, but a symbol of the divine covenant between God and the Israelites. The temple stood as a testament to their unique relationship with the divine, a place where heaven and earth met. It was the center of their religious life, the place where sacrifices were offered and prayers were lifted to heaven. The rituals performed within its walls were integral to the spiritual well-being of the Jewish community. Every stone, every artifact within the temple held profound religious significance, embodying centuries of faith and devotion. By erecting a pagan altar within the Holy of Holies, the most sacred chamber of the temple, Antiochus IV committed an act of unspeakable sacrilege. This was not just an affront to the physical sanctity of the temple, but a direct challenge to the spiritual authority of the Jewish faith. The Holy of Holies was believed to be the earthly dwelling place of God's presence, and its desecration was a blasphemous act that struck at the heart of Jewish worship. He defiled the very heart of Jewish faith, attempting to sever the bond between God and his chosen people. The impact of this act was felt deeply within the Jewish community, causing immense grief and outrage. It was an attempt to erase their religious identity and force them to abandon their sacred traditions. This act of desecration sent shockwaves throughout Judea, filling the Jewish people with horror and indignation. The news of the temple's defilement spread rapidly, igniting a sense of urgency and a call to action among the Jewish populace. It was a moment of profound crisis, challenging their resilience and faith. It was a direct assault on their faith, their identity, and their very way of life. The Jewish people were faced with the stark reality of losing their religious freedom and cultural heritage. The desecration of the temple was a symbol of the broader oppression they were experiencing under Hellenistic rule. The abomination of desolation, as prophesied by Daniel, had come to pass. This prophecy, which foretold a time of great tribulation and desecration, resonated deeply with the Jewish people. It was seen as a fulfillment of divine warning and a call to remain steadfast in their faith, despite the overwhelming adversity. The desecration of the temple served as a catalyst for the Maccabean revolt, igniting a fervent desire among the Jewish people to reclaim their religious freedom and restore the sanctity of their holy site. The Maccabees, a group of Jewish rebel warriors, rose up against the Seleucid Empire, driven by a profound sense of duty to protect their faith and heritage. It was a pivotal moment in Jewish history, a testament to the enduring power of faith in the face of persecution. The Maccabean revolt not only led to the rededication of the temple, but also reinforced the resilience and unity of the Jewish people. Their struggle and ultimate victory became a symbol of hope and perseverance, inspiring future generations to uphold their faith and traditions.